What would you do for your child? Giselle Delgadillo found herself asking that question when her son Bruno was diagnosed with the severest form of epilepsy soon after birth.
I would sleep with him holding his hand, and you feel this little body just shaking helplessly.
Bruno suffered more than 300 seizures a day, and the adult-strength medications he took had side effects so severe they continuously put him in the hospital.
He has been through so many medications that had put him through vegetative stage.
That must have been torture.
It's a nightmare.
Then in 2014, when Bruno was 3, his mother learned of medical marijuana. At the time only legal in a handful of states, the family traveled to California, where Bruno took a dose. Just as you see in this video, the effect was immediate.
We were waiting for more seizures, and he was just sitting there playing with a toy.
The seizures were gone, and Bruno seemed alert and happy for the first time in his life.
We're waiting, but nothing. Like, wow, it was a miracle that day. Yeah, like the whole thing.
Since then, Delgadillo has done everything she can to get her son his daily dose of medical marijuana. She's even risked arrest. The high-potency cannabis oil that his seizures most respond to was illegal in Florida.
I don't care what anybody says. I would rather have my child on medical marijuana and have him be a child than seeing his body seize and tremble every other minute.
But beginning this new year, Florida providers can start growing, processing, and selling a higher potency marijuana, thanks to voters approving the change in a sweeping election last November.
The biggest majority that a marijuana reform initiative has ever received in the United States.
71% of Florida voters said yes to expanding marijuana laws. Now more than half of U.S. states approve using marijuana as medicine, and 8 states, plus Washington, D.C., allow for recreational use.
All part of the kind of larger trend of Floridians, but Americans writ large, kind of shifting their attitudes on marijuana reform.
Marijuana, though, still remains the #1 illicit drug of choice in the United States. And in places where recreational use has been allowed for several years, more adults and children have been treated for marijuana-related medical emergencies.
What do you say to people who claim that you may be making your child high by giving him this drug?
I think I'm getting him high just with prescription drugs. But I'd rather have my son getting benefit from the actual medical marijuana than being a vegetable and having the horrible side effects that I could probably even lose him to those if I give him the traditional drugs.
Delgadillo says anyone would do the same for their child, a factor she says that Americans are waking up to. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Miami.